as a rule, I do not like coming of age films. Even when I was coming of age, I wasn't the biggest fan of them. But there's something about the perks of being a wallflower that really works, even for me as somebody who's not the biggest fan of this kind of film. And I decided to revisit the film and see if it lived up to what I remembered. I think I saw it in about, I want to say maybe 2014. It was released in 2012. I didn't see it immediately, but I did watch it a couple of years after, and I think it worked pretty well. I think the reason it works is because the characters are all very likable, in some ways relatable. This is often the case with coming of age films. But for me, there just seemed to be something a bit extra special about the characters. If you can put your finger on it, if you're like me and you're not the biggest fan of these kinds of films, but there's something about this one that works for you, and you can identify why, please feel free to let me know. It's directed by Stephen Chbosky and has a pretty brilliant cast, including Ezra Miller as Patrick, Emma Watson as Sam, and Logan Lerman as Charlie. We also have the brilliant Paul Rudd as Mr. Anderson. And the cast is definitely, I think, one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it, particularly Emma Watson. It's probably one of the first films I saw her in outside of Harry Potter, maybe even the first, I'm not entirely sure. But it's about this freshman who is being looked after, if you like, by two senior students at the school, and they help Charlie kind of come to terms with big problems in his life, certain mental health issues, and what it's like to feel in love when you're a teenager. And it deals with really colossal subjects that realistically they could have taken any one of those things and just focused on it in the film. And if you'd said to me beforehand, here's a coming of age film that's an hour and 43 according to IMDb, and it deals with all of these big topics, I would have thought, how can it possibly discuss these in any quality way in such a short space of time? But it actually is very effective, because it's very effectively saying, here are some teenagers, here are some problems that they may actually encounter, and being a teenager can actually involve all of these different emotions, all of these different problems at any one time. And the character of Charlie is so likable. He's brilliantly played by Logan Lerman, and I think that was essential. If the casting of Charlie hadn't worked, if the character wasn't likable, I wouldn't have bought into the narrative. I do like the seniors in this one, Sam and Patrick. They're interesting enough. I think they're great guides for Charlie, who help him to open up a bit, find his place in the world, and, as I said, help him to come to terms with these things. But for me, the driving force is definitely Charlie. I haven't read the book. The book is also written by the director, and if you've read it, feel free to let me know how it compares, or if you have a favourite, either the book or the film. I don't think I'll read the book. Maybe one day, but it's not on my list at the moment. But the film itself, despite my disinterest, I won't say distaste in coming of age films, but my disinterest in coming of age films, I think it works very well. Charlie is a really great character, and despite what I'd initially thought, I really enjoyed the perks of being a wallflower. It's a film that I've, visited several times, and it just always seems to work. It's very well, narrative's very well told, it's very well directed, very well acted. If you haven't seen it and you're not the biggest fan of that type of film, maybe give it a go. Maybe, just maybe, like me, it might just surprise you.